Okay, let's have a look here. This is for you, dear Sagittarius. Oh, wise one. I've been doing a lot of readings today for friends and family, and I've already shuffled the cards pretty well in advance, but I want to get them really clear for you, and so that we can have a decent reading. Now, this is just my interpretation. There's lots of other readers out there that you can visit, so I'm glad you're here. I hope this provides illumination for you, brings you some kind of perspective. I don't take jumpers. I don't do reversals, because I figure the cards were made one way, and that's just how they are. And I understand people who do reversals, but I just don't do it. And my readings are very simple, okay? And you can reinterpret them at the end as well. I'll just give you a few moments and you can take your own visual snapshot of the cards, okay? And then figure it out. Reinterpret for yourself. Because that's what I do. Even if I'm getting readings from other people, I reinterpret for myself. Okay? No matter how good the reader is. And there's some really good readers out there. Just bear with me here while we do this. Now, whoops, that did fly out. Some folks like to know what's on the bottom of the deck because that's kind of like a subconscious undercurrent, like a deep undercurrent that's flowing through. You might not be aware of it, but it's sort of there. This is the Queen of Swords. She is a truth teller. She does not tolerate any BS, okay? She's worked hard to be where she is, and she kind of likes the truth, and she doesn't really hide the truth, no matter what it is, even if it hurts. It's a little bit of a Sagittarius energy anyway, because Sagittarius tends to be pretty blunt and straightforward with your words and who you are and what you believe, and you don't mind saying it. So there's a little bit of that going on, okay? Just don't be too cold about it, okay? And be careful, because sometimes words can really hurt. Words can be just as damaging as a fist. Okay, so just that's just a perspective, okay? So surrounding the whole thing right now, we have, ooh, the Lusty Devil, okay? Now, this is just the old-fashioned Rider-Waite deck. There's lots of different decks out there. And there's one other deck that I like, and I don't own it, but the interpretation of this is quite different from the conventional, and I prefer the other interpretation. Now, the usual one is like, oh, bondage, I'm an obsessive compulsive, or I'm too addicted to this, and I'm controlling, and I'm too bound up to other people, and too many people are bound up to me, and it's somewhat unhealthy. Maybe it's a bit too much drinking, drugs, and alcohol, or too much partying, or maybe there's an unsavory relationship that's going on where there's, it might be fun in some ways, but there's something about it that's not too pretty. That's the normal interpretation. But there's another interpretation. It's not this deck, but it's an interpretation where the Devil card is almost like a secret joke, where everybody thinks it's spooky and scary, but it's not. It's just someone who has achieved worldly mastery. They understand the seductive aspects of the material life, and they allow themselves to enjoy it. They don't let themselves be owned by it, but they don't shy away from it. In other words, they're okay with enjoying an extra glass of wine now and again, or having a little shot of this, or maybe a puff of that, or maybe staying out a bit later, whatever it is you do, and just enjoy it. And the people who are good at carrying this energy, they don't care if other people are judging them. It's just like, you know what, screw you. I don't know what you're stressed about. You might think this and that and that and that about me, but I'm okay with that. I'm actually a really happy guy or happy girl. All right? Okay, so no big deal. What you were bringing in earlier is the Knight of Wands. You might have been crashing around a little bit, maybe having a bit too much fun. I don't know. Maybe you're kind of a party animal. Maybe you just like to have a lot of fun and go off and do this and go off and do that. This is the Knight of Wands. It's really strong, charging energy. And it sometimes steps on people's toes, and then it's gone, and before anybody knows what's happening. You might be the life of the party 1 minute, but you might have left a trail behind you, and that could include heartaches or some broken property or something. I don't know, but that's past now. Okay, you've done that. Okay, maybe you were just having a really good party time, and it's time to maybe move on from there to where we are now. Oh, I'm sorry. My first impression is just like, you had too much fun. I'm sorry. Now you're wiped out. Oh dear. I'm trying to give this a lighthearted reading. Some people think this is a really tragic card. And yeah, okay, it looks really, really, really grim. I mean, this guy is obviously not happy. Even his arm is all twisted, like it's probably numb. But deep in the background, there is new light, there's new horizon, because all of this crap here, it doesn't get any worse. This could be the worst hangover in the world, but it will be over eventually, and the sun will shine. You don't want to make a habit of this, though, okay? So what's lying up ahead? Oh, well, this is the boss of the bosses. This is the guy behind the veil, behind the curtain. He's the one who tells the bosses what to do. He's the CEO of the CEOs, the boss of the bosses, like the god of the gods, okay? And these are this is his team, and they create order. They bring order and structure. And okay, it may be a little stuffy and old school, but somebody's got to do it. And most people in this world like to have some kind of system or order or book of wisdom and knowledge that they can turn to when things get really crappy. Okay? And it looks like things have been quite a wild ride here. You've got two major arcanas here close to each other, and it's possible that this energy here is you waking up and thinking, maybe I need to get my act together. Maybe I am a really good, fun person, and I have a really good time, and I make sure all my buddies have a good time, and that's great. I don't know if this is in business or romance or home or family or everything, but sometimes it's a little bit too much, and it ends up like this, and we need to have some order. So what's the best way to move forward here? Duh, the fool, duh. Well, it might mean, My first impression here is that it's telling me you might need to change your habits. Just try something completely out of the blue that deep down intuitively you know is right and what needs to be done. It's just that you wouldn't normally do it because you kind of like being this way and you like being this way, even though you sometimes end up like this and you have to deal with this. So what this is telling me is that maybe it's time to blow up the machine, and start all over again, you know. Reprogram yourself, reformat yourself, and shake it all off. No harm done, you know, just say, well, you know, that was then and this is now, because this is the now card. This is the ever permanent, always unfolding present moment of now, where there's no past, there's no future, there's only the present. And this is suggesting to me to suggest to you that turn over a new leaf and try something new that deep down you know is the way to go. But even though you may not have the words for it yet. The energy around you, God, you're lucky. Man, you are lucky. Somebody loves you. Okay, I don't care if you're a man or a woman or male or female watching this little video, or whether this card looks like a dude, and that's fine. Yeah, it is a dude, but there are plenty of very, very powerful, loving, capable women out there who've reached this level of mastery where they are in total charge of their heart and their love and their emotions. They don't waste it. They don't dissipate it. They own it. They are full of love. They are loving. They are very loving. They love and they are loved in return. And they don't make a big display about it, okay? They don't turn it into a big orgy, okay? They don't, they're not reckless with their love. But what this is telling me is that, I don't like to use a negative word like despite, but I'm going to say it anyway. Despite this, this, and this, and this, and you know you have to go this way, despite all that, somebody loves you. Somebody really, really loves you, and they really care about you, even though that you may be a bit of a wild child. So don't squander this energy. This is really, really valuable energy, okay? What are you scared of? Uh-oh. Another bunch of swords. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, this is kind of interesting. My take on it is that you know you're kind of this way. You know you're kind of this way. You know how it ends up. You know you need some order and discipline. And it's time for a change, a big brand new turning over a new leaf. And despite all that, you are loved. But you're scared as well, because you don't want to screw up, because this is screwing up. I don't think this is other people screwing you over. I think this is you screwing yourself up here, okay? Male or female, young or older, married or single, attached or whatever. I have a feeling you've been causing yourself a little bit of trouble while having an awful lot of fun. Not meaning any harm, but still ending up in trouble. So, looking at it this way, you don't want to end up like this. You're scared of being like this, and you hope that you can climb above and out of this, hopefully by turning over a new leaf, at least trying to turn over a new leaf. No judgment. I'm not judging you, okay? No judgment. I'm just saying. This is just an interpretation. Now, where this might all lead is the Eight of Cups. I'm just going to give a very simplistic, generic interpretation where you may just have to walk away. Walk away from a lot of things that you love. You might love things like drink and drugs and alcohol and sex and parties and whooping it up and cheating and jumping and hollering and threesomes and all sorts of wonderful fun, which you really, really love, and it's a very good chance that everybody that you hang out with love it too, but it's just a little bit too much. Maybe it's, I mean, Sagittarius is known as a bit of a party sign, okay? And I don't know. I don't want to be a buzzkill, but maybe, you know, dial it back a little and walk away from that. Maybe go to rehab. Maybe, I mean, if it's really serious here, maybe it's time to go into rehab, Okay, walk away from all the stuff that you love doing that may not actually be that healthy, and like clean it up and maybe weep over it a little bit, and but maybe it's kind of like a coming of age. Okay, moving on and coming of age, like a rite of passage into a higher level of evolution, higher level of being. Let's put a positive spin on it here. Okay, this is kind of a growing up thing, like a maturity thing, like rising to a next level, even though it means you're going to have to give up and walk away from a whole bunch of world that you love. But it's a lower vibration world, and you can do better than that. You can turn over a new leaf and do better than that. So you don't have to deal with this. You don't have to deal with this. You've got so much love around you. Don't squander it. Don't spoil it. Don't take it for advantage. You know, be respectful of that love. And these cups of love that you're walking away from, it's not this. It's all the stuff over here that you love, but it's more like lust. Okay, so I think you get the gist of what I'm saying here. I don't want to be a buzzkill. You can reinterpret. I'm going to leave the cards here for just a few more moments. You can have a quick look. I'm not going to say anything for a few moments, and then I'm going to turn it off. Thank you for watching. Okay.